Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delayed start here at the Talladega Super Speedway tonight here for your Salt Flat Draft Top Progression Series. It's the old Shed 185 right here at this big 2.65-mile super speedway. These boys are finally going to take out the old Xfinity car here tonight. And, well, to bring you all this action here at Talladega tonight, it's Muth up here in the booth, and alongside me, Greg O'Berry is back. Greg, your rig's not ready to go, but these boys are getting ready to go here tonight.
Yeah, they're ready and chomping at the bit to put on a good show for everybody. We're going to see 3 and 4 wide tonight, and hopefully they keep it all clean and keep it exciting all the way to the end.
Once again, race fans, we apologize for the delayed start. We had a little bit of a rain shower come over the Talladega Super Speedway right there in qualifying, so the field is already set tonight for your old Shed 185 here at the Talladega Super Speedway. And, well, we're glad that you're here, and we're sorry for the delay. You just can't mess with Mother Nature. Sometimes she will always win the battle, but it is time to go over your starting lineup here tonight, which is brought to us by Uncle Tim. Uncle Tim's starting lineup here for the old Shed 185 as he is looking down on a lot of these boys here tonight. Starting on the front row, the driver of the 28, it is going to be Hunter Reynolds in the Fuel Sim race team. Starting position number 2 to his outside, it's the driver of the CRF Motorsports. It is the driver of the Good Wrench number 6, that is Roy Fernandez Lopez. Starting in row number 2, starting in the 3rd position, driving for the Mojica Esports team, it is the 29. This is Big Country Cole Haas. Starting in position number 4, the driver of the unsponsored 03, unsponsored here tonight, it is Aaron Davidson. Starting in the 5th position, driver of the 46, this is Jose Mejia. Behind him, or next to him actually, starting in the 6th position, driver of the 97 out of Tennessee, this is the Crossland Racing entry of Brandon Crossland. Starting in the 7th position tonight, driver of the old Shed out of Ironton, Ohio, it's the VIP Graphics entry, this number 65 of Brandon Massey. Starting in the 8th position, making one of his limited starts of the Draft Top Progression Series, the driver out of Ohio, it's the number 90, it is Michael Sturgill. Starting in the 9th position, driving the number 48, DraftTop.com Ford Mustang here tonight, it is Michael Bromley. Starting in the 10th position, driving the number 99, Rockstar Machine. This is going to be Cole Day, last week's winner, has 4 wins on the season. We'll see if he can hold on to that or streak that he's got going now. Starting in the 11th position, the driver of the Keystone Motorsports, number 31, out of Topton, Pennsylvania, it is Donald Bennett. Starting in the 12th position, out of Florida, the coast to almost coast, number 26, Darrell Clauter. Starting in the 13th position, driver of the number 3, is Shane Mullins. Starting 14th on the night, the Beefy Motorsports 83 out of Ontario, Canada, it is going to be Brandon Feeney. Starting in 15th here tonight, it's the Wheel Team 6B, number 88 of Tim Combs. Combs going to be coming from the 15th starting position. The Need for Speed Motorsports, number 2, DraftTop.com, American Patriot Flag. Mustang of Josh Buckley will roll off into the 16th spot. 17th here tonight, it's going to be the guy out of Las Vegas. It's the Deeper Darker Dew driver. The Las Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas strong. 38 of Cody Levitt. 18th tonight, we're Skip him. That's Greg with the big oof on the board. Nathan Maurer out of Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Sim Box on Facebook. Get your button box today. 71, starting in the 19th position for Nathan Maurer. Starting in the 20th spot, it's the Rep Sports Raise Energy Drink 04 out of Utah. It is Danny Valenzuela. Starting shotgun to the field here tonight, the driver of the number 77 Simbox entry out of Georgia. It is Big Doug Neal. That is your 21-car field, or 20-car field here, actually, as Greg, you don't actually count here tonight as a driver. But we are getting ready to go racing here, Greg. It's going to be hot, heavy, side by side. You will see 3 wide tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a whoops on my part. I registered in here, so my apologies to that for any confusion, but I'm excited for this race. Don't really know who to pick out as a favorite here, though. Don't know. Some of these guys haven't had the chance to race with and haven't seen them on a super speedway yet this season. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy this race just like the rest of the fans there at home.
As we will come get the service side green flag here tonight in your old shed 185. They got a location out there in Ironton, Ohio. Race fans, make sure you check them out on Facebook.com. Live sale every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. As we come into the service side green flag area, get ready, race fans, because we are going to go racing here tonight. It is going to be high-powered super speedway action, and we are racing for the first time here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Reynolds and Lopez will do the battle side by side into one, with Cole Haas and Davidson behind them, as everybody is 2 by 2 coming up through the gearboxes into turn number 1.
Start to see a couple of guys jumping down to the bottom. Everybody's kind of wanting to figure out which lane's going to be the preferred line. Only 3 guys up front on the outside, but here it is. Aaron Davidson's going to take them 3 wide down the backstretch for second, and he's going to be looking for the lead as they go down into turn 3.
Yeah, as they are 3 wide with the 6 machine in the middle. Crossland back there doesn't know where to go right now, as he kind of peeking to the inside, kind of peeking into the middle groove. Not quite deciding. It looks like Davidson won't have the momentum wound up in that Chevrolet, so he will fall back into line right now, running into the 4th position. They will come out of turn number 4 to complete lap 1. Who will win it? The start-finish line should be right here. Nope, it is not. It is way down closer to turn number 1. Fernandez going to lead lap number 1 here tonight for the old shed 185 at Talladega.
Barely did get his nose across there to lead lap 1. And you see Aaron Davidson, he's looking to make it 3 wide for the lead yet again. I don't know how well that's going to work out. He doesn't have any help, and even the middle lane there's only got 2 cars. The bottom's definitely the dominant line here right now. Just everybody trying to be patient.
One of them down onto the apron. That is the 48 Hooters Ford Mustang out of the Bromley Design Stable. Michael Bromley having some PC issues, I heard, before pre-race, so he will drop it down to the bottom. He will tag the rear of the field, and we will stay under the green flag conditions to come out of turn number 2 for the second time, or turn number 4. Big Country Cole Haas with a big move from the inside to the outside lane.
Lead group, 7 cars, now 8 cars with the 90 car there joining the pack, trying to make it 2 by 2 for 4 rows deep before you get a little bit of a gap to the next group there. And actually, they're going to join up and make one big pack again, and see how this works out in 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what super speedway racing is. You're never going to be able to go ahead and just get away from anybody. As we look on board here with our race leader down the back straightaway, you can see Hunter Reynolds pushing Big Cole Haas down the back straightaway. You don't want to seesaw on the wheel right now if you're Cole Haas, because Reynolds, one of those drivers that actually competes right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network on a Monday night in a super speedway series. You seesaw, and then Reynolds is going to hook you, and that's just kind of the unfortunate beast here tonight, as here comes the old shed out of Ironton, Ohio. The 65 of Massey's coming to the front of the field, and he's got the 90 of Michael Sturgill right there. Sturgill trying to make an appearance here and make his name known at the Talladega Superspeedway. 3 laps in the books. Cole Haas owns 2 laps at the front of the field.
Yeah, I'm noticing the guys are able to get a run and get even with the leader, but nobody can get any help to get out and edge ahead of him from that bottom line. I don't know if that's just a lack of help on the outside lane, or if there's something to it with aerodynamics, just not letting the guys on the outside get a good run.
Yeah, well, right now there's more dancers to the inside as the Jokers are on the outside going into turn number 3. Inside lane is going to be Cole Haas, Reynolds, Davidson, Fernandez. To the outside it is Massey, Crossland, Massey Sturgill, and actually only Jose Mejia. Now Aaron Davidson going to go to the outside in the black 03 unsponsored entry. He'll get the shove from Brandon Massey, but it's not going to be good enough at the line. It will still be Big Country Kohlhaas leading the field here tonight. What a night it would be if Big Country would be able to park this number 29, the Bearded Struggle Machine, into victory lane. We will make, well, I don't want to say we will make, but we will find out here and call it about 65 laps who's going to be able to wind themselves up into victory lane. Somebody back here, I believe that's the 83 Liquid Molly machine. That is the Beefy Motorsports, Brandon Feeney back here. He is running in that 8th position. He's down on the inside. He's the 5th car. That car right now ahead of Danny Valenzuela. Valenzuela with some brand new colors on his 04 Rep Sports machine.
Yeah, you can always pick out any from the group. He's always going to have the most obnoxious color, the bright color, neon. Last week it was the pink and black, and now he's got the neon green. So making sure he's getting his attention from the TV cameras, if you will.
Yeah, and he's got the newer, I guess we could call them the newer style numbers. We saw this at the All-Star race where they put the numbers on the quarter panels of those machines. And there you see Danny Valenzuela coming down the back straightaway, Raise Energy on the side. Race fans, you want to know what keeps the Turn 3 Racing Network jacked up? It's Raise Energy, that's for sure. Head on over to Rep Sports, get your Raise Energy, and on checkout, type in UTWRX to get a discount on checkout. Well, and I just ordered myself some, so let me tell you, I'm going to be all jacked up on Raise Energy come Friday.
Tell you something I'm seeing and noticing here, Roger. I mentioned it a few minutes ago. I don't know some of these guys very well, haven't raced with them, but some of the veterans, Cody Levitt, Cole Day, Donald Bennett, Daryl Calder, they're all hanging out the back single file, just trying to click some laps off. I think they're wanting to make sure that they're around at the end. You know, you can't win it if you get crashed out. They're trying to make sure that buy themselves a little bit of extra insurance here.
There's Michael Bromley coming back out onto the track, the driver of that Hooters draft top styled Ford. As you can see, his night is a rough one as he is a lap down currently with still having the blinking issue with his sim rig here tonight on lap number 7. Back to the race leaders, though. It is still Kohlhaas, Reynolds, Fernandez Lopez, Massey Davidson. That's your top 5 drivers here as we're going to come by this time. And already, just like that, we will complete lap number 7. Reynolds sitting right there in that 2nd position. See if he's able to get up there. He's a great driver, and he's showing it here in the early stages. He's just able to hang to the bumper of that 29 of Ira Kohlhaas and push him around the track as they are 3 wide back here. Aaron Davidson went to the outside. Crossland is actually going to split him, try to go to the outside, and I believe that's the 88 of Tim Combs in the KFC entry. He's trying to push him. Now Danny Valenzuela will jump to the outside, and he will try to pull that outside lane back up with his Toyota.
Yeah, Danny's having a really good run tonight. Good to see him up towards the front. Now he's going to try to pull that outside line on up and see if he can't make a charge for the lead.
Well, it would be the first laps that Valenzuela has led this year. He came into the night a little bit farther down in the point standings than he would like to be. It was 19th on the point standings coming into just tonight. So a little bit disappointing, as actually that is completely wrong on the standings. Greg, we are all sorts of jacked up.
But you know, the greatest people are the ones that can get through the adversity and still pull something out of a hat. I have faith in you, Roger.
Right. Valenzuela, I gave him a little more credit than what was due. He's actually 20th in the point standings coming into tonight. At least our stat guy, Ronnie, can get me the right stats sometime.
I thought 19th sounded a little too good to be true.
Yeah. Right now, though, leading that outside charge, here comes Massey back to the outside. He's got the Canadian, so it's the Ohio driver and the man north of the border. And then Danny Valenzuela. What a combination we have here onto the outside lane. Valenzuela says, yeah, I don't like it. I'm going to tuck back down below there where Jose Mejia is in that 46 entry. He'll slice between Mejia and Davidson on the bottom lane. That outside lane just doesn't seem to be able to get together. But maybe Cody Levitt now, as him and Cole Day and Donald Bennett, Daryl Clauder, they all kind of move up to the outside here. Maybe they can make something happen together.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a group of those veterans like the guys you just mentioned. They're all going to have to get together on the same page and work together and just know, hey, look, we're not going to pass each other. We're going to line up and we're going to see what we can't do to get up here and challenge these guys. And as these newer guys to the league see those veterans, I think they'll start to fall in line with them, and we start to see that outside lane work later on in the race.
Getting passed along, Michael Bromley did get black flagged and had to serve a penalty going down into pit road. That's what just brought him back out onto the speedway. So he is currently actually 2 laps down, I believe it is, to the race leader, as he had to serve that penalty. As somebody else that is a little off the pace, it is Shane Mullins. He is currently into the 19th spot, and he is, well, in big trouble right now. Your race leaders are storming to the inside of him down here in turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. He will go a lap down here tonight, so Mullins will be actually in the lucky dog spot, as he's actually going to jump way up high there. Davidson going to go along with him. That is some slicing and dicing down the back straightaway.
Just a little clarification, Shane Mullins was actually black flagged as well. Not entirely sure the reason, but I imagine it was probably for similar issues as Bromley's having with this connection. But something we hadn't brought up yet, we're right now at about halfway through this fuel run. Expect the fuel to be somewhere between 18 and 20 laps. We're coming to complete lap 11 here. So next 7-8 laps or so, we'll probably start to see these guys bolt down on the pit road. That'll be interesting to see how they're able as a group, as tight as they are, to break it down to 55 miles an hour and do it cleanly.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we get to those green flag pit stops. It's always interesting to see who can get it woed up from right around right now. They're going 188 miles an hour down the back straightaway here. Kohlhaas, big wiggle off Reynolds' nose there coming down the back straightaway. He's able to get back up in line as that inside lane just checked up just a little bit with Reynolds and Fernandez. And look at Buckley there, the driver of that number 2 machine. He is more known for his short track ability. He really loves to drive the SK modifieds on short tracks like Stafford, and yeah, he even likes, I guess the biggest that you can really say is New Hampshire. It's a home track for Josh Buckley, but these super speedways are not in his repertoire that he says or likes to race at. But right now, he is that 4th car. That's pretty impressive. If this isn't a track that you like, but he's right there, I mean, hats off. At least he's going for it.
Well, you know, Tony Stewart once said even a monkey could get in one of these cars at Daytona or Talladega and pull something out of a hat. So between him and Danny being there right behind him, maybe that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, those 2 drivers teaming up. They tried to do some short track racing in the offseason together. And, well, maybe they're trying to do this larger stuff together and get a little bit better or well-rounded racing portfolio for these drivers. That outside lane, though, Brandon Massey and Aaron Davidson still not quite able to get up there and use that outside lane advantage, keeping everybody down to the bottom. They are able to keep the 6th, though, of Fernandez Lopez at bay down on the bottom group with Josh Buckley. There you see Danny actually backed off just a little bit. So that inside lane has kind of pulled itself apart. Now watch that outside lane start to surge because they got Jose Mejia, Tim Combs, and now that lap down car of Mullins is right there. Greg, it's great to be the first car 1 lap down, but at Talladega or Daytona where wrecks happen in the blink of an eye, and when they happen at speeds, you don't have time to react. If Shane Mullins would be collected in a wreck here, he would not get that Lucky Dog award.
Yeah, that's right. If I'm him, knowing how big the track is, and I believe he's the only one a lap down right now. Yeah, Bromley's showing 2 back. I'm dropping to the back of this pack. Typically, when you catch, you know, a slower car, the whole pack's going to go by that lap down guy. You're probably going to end up coming back ahead of him anyway. I'd be bolting to the back if I were him.
Cody Levitt still stuck to the outside in that Vegas Golden Knights, Vegas Strog machine. Looks like Crossland right now having a little connection issue with his machine. See if he can get that cleared up. Michael Sturgill back here. He is just hanging out. He's probably the least talked about driver in the field here tonight. The driver of the number 90. He's just hanging out right now. We haven't seen much of him in a couple of weeks here. Looks like last time we actually saw him was at Michigan in the ARCA car. We also saw him back when we ran the super late models at Five Flags in Concord. He had a good finish at the Five Flag Speedway, finishing in the 6th position after starting on the pole. They had a great battle at Five Flags. I mean, those short track racing really put on some good excitement, and he's back here at Daytona, so it's a huge jump from Five Flags to Talladega, but geez.
Yeah, that is one extreme from one extreme to the other, excuse me. But that's kind of what I like to do. You know, I love the short tracks, but I love the super speedways. I fully believe that auto racing is a contact sport, and I either want to be door slamming in the corners at a short track or pulling a Hunter Reynolds here and just wearing that bumper out of the guy in front of me I'm impressed at how clean those guys have been able to keep it as hard as Hunter's pushing Ira the last few laps.
Yeah, well, Hunter, we talked about it. He's a great racer in his own. I mean, he has more second-place finishes than I can even count that high, and he's very experienced on these larger tracks. The question being, though, who is going to play nice with Hunter Reynolds here tonight? Reynolds, one of those drivers, as you see Massey a little bit out of shape on the outside. He's one of those drivers that usually when he races super speedways, he has a lot of friends. A lot of friends not here in this Salt Flat Draft Top Progression Series. So the question is, whose hand did he shake before the race, and who is going to go with him? We will find out here, maybe in, the next 3 to 4 laps, possibly, when we hit green flag pit stops?
Yeah, it should be about 3 laps away. I expect to see, maybe we'll see the manufacturer alliance, him and Buckley and a couple of these other guys out there driving the Mustangs. Maybe they'll pair up together and see if they can't beat the Chevrolet lineup.
That, you know what, that is something that you don't see very often on the iRacing platform, is the alliances team up and kind of try to get strangleholds. You see teams per se, with some guys, we'll use me for an example. I race with Donald Bennett all the time, who's out there onto the speedway right now. He's in the 12th position. He drives a Chevrolet. I drive a Toyota in the Xfinity car. We drive as a team, but, well, it's more like Rick Ware Racing. They have 3 Chevys and a Ford in the stable, and any other time, then it's 2 Fords and a Chevy at the racetrack. You don't see just straight manufacturer alliances, but what I can tell you right now is everybody has gone single file down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I expect to see them headed for pit road here in the next lap. Maybe this time by even see some come off. If they're smart, they'll try to split the group into a couple different laps to do it, so that you don't have 19 guys at one time on the bonders coming out of turn 4.
Well, let's see. Is anybody going to break to pit road here on 18? It looks like
Some
Bennett's going to come to pit road. Yeah, Bennett looks like the 99. Here comes Cody Levitt also. So a couple drivers will take this moment to come down pit road. There you see him. So 3 cars will be the first stint of drivers down onto the pit lane here, but it will leave Cole Haas, Reynolds, Lopez, Buckley, Valenzuela, your top 5 drivers here on lap number 19 who have yet to pit. Only 3 drivers down pit road. Everybody else still continuing to go single file. We'll see what the old crew down there on pit road decide. If they take 2 tires, no tires, or 4 tires here. I believe it's going to be 2 tires for Cole Day. I believe it's 2 tires for Day, 4 tires for Bennett. Or actually, pit road penalties, I believe, being handed down there for a couple drivers. Now a couple more of these guys going to come down. Here comes Cole Haas and Valenzuela. Here comes Massey in the old shed 65. He'll lock him up, and he's into Valenzuela coming on the pit road. Darrell Clotter going to go around.
That's what I was talking about a few minutes ago. It's really hard to carry speed and not give up too much time getting into pit road, but you've got to slow it down and keep from running over each other. And we saw, Massey didn't actually just slide to his pit stall there. He didn't hit Valenzuela, I don't believe, but that chain reaction ended up causing Darrell Calder to lose several seconds of time there.
So it looks like 6 drivers have yet to come down. I expect to see them down on pit road. Reynolds, Lopez, Buckley, Feeney, Combs, Mejia, and Sturgill all have yet to bring. Actually, Sturgill was down pit road.
I believe that group is all going to be coming in this lap, but looking at Darrell again, the whole front end of his car's got some pretty significant damage. I think he's going to be sitting here trying to get some repairs and hope for a caution to come out.
Well, that's unfortunate for the driver out of Florida, but everybody else, you see them coming down pit road here tonight. And it looks like getting word that Brandon Carlson's connection had died on his internet, so he is out of this one. The 88 of Combs going to blow through his pit stall. And now you see the 90 of Sturgill. He's out here. He might be the race leader, but Cole Day is actually getting a tow from Michael Bromley. So that'll put Cole Day to the point here. We'll see if that cycles back through as him being the race leader.
I believe Hunter Reynolds only took fuel there. It didn't seem like he was on pit road very long to get tires. I think he might have just filled it up. And at least what I'm looking at, he's still showing as the leader right now.
He is, but he's down on the apron, and you can see Cole Day is coming. There you see Darrell Clotter also back out onto the track. There's the 38 of Cody Levitt also in that camera shot. Donald Bennett's right there also. Both those drivers will go a lap down for the time being. Both of them 2 fast entering pit road for the driver of the 38 and the 31, so they didn't have their button boxes adjusted with the brake bias. You know what? They need to head over to, well, where is he? The 71 sponsor. Simbox. They needed their Simbox to adjust that brake bias coming into pit road. That could have slowed them down. It could have avoided them getting a pit road speeding penalty.
Near miss there coming through the tri-oval as 38 to 31 were passing our leaders, and Daryl Calder was also there as well. He's a little off the pace from that damage and a little bit of a jockey there to avoid catastrophe between those guys.
Looks like Fernandez Lopez was able to come out in tow there also. So right now your race leaders are Hunter Reynolds, Roy Fernandez, then it's Brandon Feeney, but it looks like Feeney's going to get gobbled up by this pack back here, which is Cold Day. It looks like Michael Sturgill's in there. I believe that's Shane Mullins, Jose Mejia, Nathan Maurer is right there also. So it's a whole gaggle of cars here. Everybody kind of mixed and matched. What happened to the number 2 of Josh Buckley, though? I'm showing that he had a little bit of an incident, and that car may not be tracking completely straight.
Yeah, he is missing the rear clip off of his car. The TV panel and the rear bumper are gone off of that car.
Well, let's take a look back here on the replay and see what happened to the number 2. Oh, down on the apron. He lost it on the apron coming out of pit road and then yeeted the inside wall all by himself and then backed it back into the wall. And, well, he grabbed a gear and carried on, but that's rough when you're coming off pit road like that. No tires is what the 2 of Buckley took, and that's going to put him well behind.
And he's back on pit road now, coming in to get some repairs done to that car.
Taking a peek right now at the race lead. It looks like about 5.5 seconds. There you see your race leaders. Greg, now you're in this position. You're Hunter Reynolds. You have control of this race with the 6 of Roy Fernandez, okay? You got 2 lap down cars ahead of you. You got a lap down car coming up behind you. So possibly a 5-car draft if Clauder can get up there and work with them. If not, it's a 4-car draft per se. Do you go out? Do you pass the 31 of Bennett and Levitt, or do you sit there in line and save fuel as much as you can?
This is the perfect opportunity for Hunter to build that relationship with that 6 car. We were talking a minute ago. He doesn't have any other friends or teammates out here on the track with him. Hey, look, Fernandez, stay with me. We're going to sit here and ride, save fuel, and until we have to do something different, let's just click laps off. Who knows what's going to happen if this thing stays green? They're likely going to come down to the 2 of those guys. They're just got to self-persevere and make it to the end. I would be talking to the 6 car right now, trying to work out a deal for the rest of this race to ride there and save fuel.
As we ride on board with Roy Fernandez, you see that 28 machine just out in front of him. The problem being, though, while these 2 continue to ride around, the guys that are just behind them in that second group, they are actually starting to catch up. It's about 4.5 seconds now. You know, this group being led by Michael Bromley, who was a couple laps down after having connection issues in the first stages of this race. There you see the 99 of Day, and then it's the 90 of Sturgill, and then I believe that's the 3 of Mullins. Actually, all those drivers right there, except for Cold Day, are a lap down right now. Then you have Brandon Feeney, who's back there running in 5th. Jose Mejia is right there, and Nathan Maurer is there. So, I mean, like I said it before, you got a whole mixed bag of tricks back there. But now it looks like Bromley will come down pit road, so Cold Day will now take to leading this pack. Another driver out there by himself, though, this is Brandon Massey, and I'm being shown that Brandon Massey actually, unfortunately, had a pit road penalty also. Too fast entering pit road for the driver of the 65, so he was held in his pit stall until that penalty was up, and now he lost the draft.
And that's to be expected. We saw him sliding in through the pit road entry cone and almost taking out Danny Valenzuela there, so we kind of thought that would be the case. But sitting here watching this lead pack now with 4 lap cars, but our 2 leaders are in it. It's a 6-car draft. They're holding serve with that group behind them. It's only been about a 1/10 of a second or so difference the last couple of laps by.
Yeah, now they got Ira Kohlhaas in this group, so this group is forming to get bigger and bigger here on, well, coming to complete lap 26 here tonight. Not quite halfway home in this one, race fans, but while we have the time, we got to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight's race sponsor is The Old Shed. You can find them over on Facebook.com. They do have weekly sales. They also have now a brick-and-mortar store as they have The Old Shed delivered, and it is up and operational. There you see the driver of The Old Shed of Brandon Massey. The Old Shed is located in Ironton, Ohio. They got everything you need at good discount prices. Just head on over there and find what you need. They have it.
Looking up at our leaders, I guess they got impatient behind those lap cars. They went ahead, went to the front of that pack, and it's kind of broken that group up a little bit of distance between them. Hopefully they'll all get back in line and be able to draft together and just hold serve where they're at.
So now Reynolds, that's just going to eat up a little more fuel for Hunter Reynolds, but I guess if you're trying to run away from the third-place car there of Cole Day, and Michael Sturgill is actually that second car now in line of the second pack. And, Cole Day's not able to save any fuel either, and Michael Sturgill, he's not saving any fuel if he's just the second car in line because he's trying to push the Dickens out of the Rockstar 99 of Cole Day, who has 4 wins on this season. His latest win just coming last week. And he was able to pick up 1 spot in the championship hunt for the Progression Series. Cole Day has a win at Gateway, has a win at Charlotte, has a win at Dover, so it is 3 in a row is what makes Cole Day go. And his last win was all the way back at the USA Speedway. So now could he kind of rebound here tonight, catch your race leaders, and park it in victory lane? Then you can say you have won on everything from a dirt track to a 1-mile track to a 1.5-mile track to the biggest track on the circuit.
You're looking at timing and score, and that last time by, that second group actually picked up about a half a second on the leaders. And again, I don't quite understand the thought process of jumping out to the front. Not only can you save fuel riding behind those 2 cars, the 38-31, but now you've trapped them a lap down. If a caution comes out, one of them will get their lap back. But you had the opportunity to make 2 good friends, and now you've kind of thrown the sand in their face, so to speak, a little bit with putting them back behind you and lapping them in case a caution comes out.
Yeah, but if you leave them in front of you and a caution comes out, they both come competitors to win this race. If you leave them behind you, only one of them gets back on the lead lap, and that's just one less person you have to battle for a race win. You got to think, you see 6 cars in that camera shot there. 4 of them are 1 lap down.
That's a valid point, Roger. Actually, the 6 car got a little squirrely there coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, I'm looking at the notes from that pit cycle. Hunter Reynolds and Roy Fernandez, both of them only taking fuel. They did not take any tires. No right side tires, no left side tires on those machines. So they only took fuel only. So those cars may get a little squirrely towards the end of this run. But really, when you think about super speedways, you don't need to put tires on that much. How much really wheel input are you putting in here with this huge banking at Talladega to try and turn these cars?
Not much at all. It's almost negligible, just enough to kind of set the car. But it's been 2 months since I've been able to race. I'm not 100% sure how the new tires are running, but I might would put 1 set of tires on over the course of a race. And that was just for the peace of mind more than anything. I never really could tell much of a difference. But I'm seeing a little bit of information here between a couple guys planning for the next pit stop between Cole Day and Michael Sturgill. Lap 38 or 39 is when we should expect those guys to come in.
Well, that's knowledge information there being passed along between those 2 drivers. And I looked at it. It does look what was down to about 3.5 seconds is now back up to about a little over 4.5 second gap for the race leaders. So this crew back here is not pulling anymore on the race leaders like they were. They are right now almost 5 seconds back, actually, as you see the 3 of Shane Mullins. Maybe they're trying to get him to the front of this pack. Remember, he's multiple laps down right now to the race leaders. Maybe if he can get to the front of this pack, he would be able to pull them, and they would be able to save fuel while trying to run down the race leaders. A little bit farther and deeper into the field, I was going to say Michael Bromley, but the camera guy decided to go back to Donald Bennett. There is Michael Bromley. He is behind the 65 Old Shed of Brandon Massey and the 04 of Danny Valenzuela. Right now, Valenzuela is into the 11th position, but he is well behind the race leader, almost 40 seconds. And how far is 40 seconds, you ask? Well, let's show you. Let's put it up by car number on the screen. There you see our track here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway on the right-hand side of the screen. There is Danny Valenzuela. You see the green 04 on the map going down the back straightaway? Your race leader, yeah, well, he's coming out of turn 2 right about now. There he is. That's Hunter Reynolds. That's Roy Fernandez. So it's a back straightaway distance between Valenzuela and Massey going a lap down here at Talladega. And look at these guys. They are battling. Levitt and Bennett are now nose to tail on that outside.
So this begs the question now, looking at this lead pack here, why not all 4 of those lap cars work together as one group? 4 cars stronger than 2. And if they can all work together and get out ahead of them, that'll unlap all of them, I believe, wouldn't it?
That would put all 4 of them, Klauter, Kohlhaas, Bennett, and Levitt, all back onto the race lead lap. But, well, maybe everybody's got their own mind set up right now that maybe now's not the time they want to work together.
Yeah, I would think this is the time you want to build as good a relationship with anybody you can, because you never know who's going to be around you and who you're going to need the help from in the closing laps of the race.
Big wiggle there as the 6 went back to the back bumper on Fernandez went to the back bumper there on Reynolds down the back straightaway. So far here tonight as we close in on that halfway point, we have been clean and green here tonight for the Old Shed 185. Our friends over at the Old Shed tuning in here tonight, we got to thank them. Really enjoy your show there on Friday night over on the Facebook.com live sales. The Old Shed car right now, though, a little bit down because of a penalty. Looking to try and get back up here through the field as he is battling side by side down the back straightaway. Now he'll tuck back into line there behind Valenzuela. Maybe the Old Shed was getting a little overheated. That's Brandon Massey, the driver of the Old Shed right now. While we have a second, maybe we can talk to Brandon Massey's crew chief out there. Let's see if we can get a quick word in with the crew chief of that 65 here tonight. Al Smith, how's that car handling out there?
We're doing pretty good, Roger. We kind of had the driver got too close to the pit wall there. Kind of put us a little bit behind, but we're getting to the bottom. We're going to get back in this one. Hopefully we'll catch a yellow here before going a lap down.
Yeah, those leaders are bearing down on you. Do you guys have any plans going forward here? I see you're behind that 04 machine who's just pitted right a couple stalls ahead of you. Do you guys plan to work the rest of the way here together because you guys are a little bit off the 8 ball?
It's a possibility. We're going to keep those cards close to our chest here for the people watching out there, but it's a possibility. We're trying to weigh out our opportunities. We kind of got separated from our teammates, and we're kind of stuck in a bubble right now, so kind of got to figure out when everybody else is going to pit, and we'll go from there.
Well, I'll keep digging here tonight. The race is not over until you sing.
Well, it won't ever be over. I hope you brought your very many lattes with you.
Al Smith there, crew chief tonight on the Old Shed number 65 here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Al telling us there, Greg, too close to the pit wall that they had to, I'm guessing what it looked like. We didn't catch it. It would have been, what was that, Austin Power stuck in the hallway on his little go-kart, or not go-kart, golf cart?
The golf cart, yeah. Actually, here's, check that. Thought Donald Bennett might have had an issue, but he was just kind of getting a little bit of air, I believe. But yeah, going back to Brandon Massey's pit stall, I saw him, it was that same, I guess he's only been down once, but he slid through his box and had to back up, and then I guess he was just a little bit too close to the pit wall after backing up, and, you know, compound interest works the bad way too. When one thing goes wrong, the next thing does, and the next thing, and before you know it, you got a broadcaster that's registered for a race as a driver, and he's not racing, so.
I mean, I know how that goes. Remember, we're behind the 8 ball all night long here, but not behind the 8 ball. Hunter Reynolds still continuing to dominate this race here as everybody behind him has elected to go to the single file formation. There you see Kohlhaas and Levitt, Bennett, Klauter still here tagging the rear of your race leaders on lap 38 out of this 75 or 70 lap. I was going to say 75, but it's the 185, so it's 70 laps here tonight at Talladega. Nobody down pit road for their second pit stop just yet. I believe any moment we're going to see a couple of these race leaders peel off to pit road. We'll see if your race leaders do this time by. Out of turn 4, here comes, nope, it looks like Bennett and Levitt, though, will come down pit road. They will hit pit road here on lap 38, see if they can get them load up this time.
Yeah, this second pack, I believe most of those guys have been calling out. They're all coming in as well.
Yeah, that is Sturgill and Day. And, oh, Nathan Maurer was hitting the buttons on his sim box and almost went out into the grass there.
Yeah, he and Cole Day both locked him up and slid through the entrance cone. So we'll have to keep a check on that to see if there's been any speeding issues there.
Levitt is down and away, done with his pit stop. It looks like no penalty this time for the driver out of Las Vegas. Cody Levitt will come back out onto the speedway. Donald Bennett, though, he is right there. Gas only for both of those Chevrolets as they now rejoin the racing surface.
Leaders are going to be pitting this time.
And then the race leaders will come down pit road, so we will see. Looks like Cole Haas and Clauder will stay right there hot to trot with them down pit road, so your next two. That'll leave Mejia, Feeney, Sturgill. Or actually just Jose Mejia and Brandon Feeney. We could almost talk tonight, too. That would help out us a lot.
Something about those guys coming into pit road that was interesting. A lot of these guys are kind of coming through that dog leg a little bit before they start their entrance into pit road process. But as soon as they came out of the corner, the two leaders there, as soon as they came off of turn 4, they immediately separated and went to slowing down. They took longer to slow down, so they lost a little bit of time there, but they don't have to worry about that speeding issue or locking up, sliding, causing a crash or anything like that as they come in on the pit road.
Yeah, Reynolds and Lopez had about a 6-second lead over that second group when they all elected to come to pit road. So we'll see where that kind of all fizzles out once this green flag pit cycle is over. We're still going to need one more stop here tonight. So this is not the final pit stop of the evening. There's Brandon Feeney coming down with his liquid molly machine. He will come down pit road, and it looks like so will Jose Mejia. So that will then finish off the green flag pit cycle once those drivers get out. Seeing if there's any pit road penalties through this time, as it looks like everybody actually so far, barring Jose Mejia and Brandon Feeney, everybody has been to pit road, and everybody has actually came out of pit road without getting their hands slapped here tonight.
Waiting for them to come back across the line to reset timing and scoring, but if what I'm looking at now holds true, they're going to Hunter and Roy are going to come out with about a 13-second lead, which is very interesting how that played out there through those stops.
Yeah, I'm taking a peek at it, and you maybe...
It just reset. Now it's at about 5.5 seconds back to the 83, and it'll be Brandon Feeney, Michael Sturgill, Cole Day, and Nate Maurer as a 4-car pack. They're running 3rd through 7th. Excuse me, 4th through 7th.
So everybody, and yeah, it's about what you expect. You said Reynolds and Lopez came down pit road a little gingerly on the brakes. They didn't want to speed on entry, so that gave about a half a second back to this second pack there of Sturgill, Day, Maurer, and that's Michael Bromley also mixed up into that. Looks like Jose Mejia lost this draft after coming out of pit road, so the 46 is kind of stuck into the no man's land here. Brandon Feeney, there you see him. He's definitely no man's land, and there's some damage done to the Liquid Molly 83's nose. Not sure where that came from here tonight, but he was down. Actually, he came, well, I can tell you, right about here. Let's watch this back. Brandon Feeney comes off of pit road. We talked about it earlier. The two, remember of Buckley? How he had his issues coming off of pit road? Watch this. Here's the Liquid Molly machine, the beefy motorsports of Brandon Feeney. Yeah, he just yeeted the grass. He even got some air down there in turn 1. Holy cow. And now what happens, I believe he's able to gather it back up, but that damage coming from when he jumped the grass and pavement down there in turn number 1. I believe that reminds me of, Greg, did you ever see the guy that says he's just going to send it on the snowmobile?
I believe Brandon Feeney sent it through turn 1 there.
Yeah, I think he saw that video one too many times, or that's maybe Feeney's neighbor, because that gentleman is from Canada also. So maybe Brandon Feeney taking some lessons. The only problem with that is now he has dropped all the way to the 7th position, and he's got Aaron Davidson all over the back of him. There's the Sim Box machine, the Sim Box on Facebook machine there of Doug Neal. And Tim Combs actually right there. That rounds out the top 10 as we're halfway home here tonight in the Old Shed 185. Up front here, Ira Kohlhaas is right now holding serve onto the lead lap as he leads the field around here. Your leaders are right behind him. Hunter Reynolds, Roy Fernandez, Sturgill's right there. Actually, he's not right there, but he would be the next car. That's Brandon Massey in the Old Shed. He has gone a lap down with Danny Valenzuela. Remember, those guys were kind of nose to tail on the speedway. Now they find themselves trying to get back onto the lead lap. They're running 12th and 13th with Ira Kohlhaas right there ahead of them. That is all a battle for position. 4 cars surrounding your race leaders, battling for spots as your race leaders are just trying to, turn laps here and say, boys, can we just get to the end of this one?
Yeah, they're starting to mix it up a pretty good amount here with this lead group. Watching coming out of turn 2 that last time, Hunter and was pushing Ira pretty hard, and actually he pushed Ira right down onto the apron as they went into turn 3 and got him a little sideways. Good job by Kohlhaas to hold onto it and not cause a crash there.
Riding on board here with Danny Valenzuela, looking at the back of the Old Shed, number 65. Valenzuela sneaks high. Now Massey's going to sneak high. Valenzuela looking like maybe he's just going to go back down, and Massey will then come down and slam the door. Cody Levitt right there in the Vegas car. 26 laps to go here at Talladega, and we are green flag racing so far here tonight. No caution flags have flown, as we've seen 2 sets of green flag pit cycles tonight.
I'm riding on board with Cody Levitt as they go down into turn 1. And he's the last car in this line here. And something I noticed is that Danny Valenzuela with a little bit of damage to the rear bumper of his car. Somebody's been trying to push pretty hard to get that green Raise Energy machine up to the front of the track.
Yeah, I actually think that's from the contact with Brandon Massey coming to pit road.
Oh, you're right. I
Remember
forgot.
that first green flag pit cycle? Brandon Massey was hard onto the binders. Danny was hard onto the binders, and then they made that just slight contact, and that could be where Valenzuela got that with his Raise Energy drink, sour gummy worms. And if you haven't had sour gummy worms, it's really good.
Hearing a little bit of chatter on the driver radio. I believe Michael Bromley might be headed for pit road. Not sure who he's racing there with, but I think there might be a couple guys that are ready to head for pit road.
You might be able to make it here. Now, Greg, let's ask your driver's perspective here. If you can hit the fuel window of 20 laps at Talladega, do you come down with 20 to go, or do you ride it out to where you would come down with, say, 5 laps to go and just take the smallest amount of fuel?
I'm probably going to come in somewhere around, if it's me, I'm going to come in probably around the 16 lap mark. Well within the 20 lap window, but that gives me a couple of laps for a green-white checker in the event that we have one. But I wouldn't be too worried about that just with the number of cars on the lead lap. If we got a caution, especially at Talladega, you could restart 6th, 7th, 8th and have plenty decent shot to get up there and win the race. But I do think we're still just a couple of laps before they'll be able to make it from here. So not sure what Bromley was mentioning there, referencing on the radio, but I don't think they can quite make it from here.
Michael Bromley is back out on track with the DraftTop.com machine. We got to thank all the guys over at Draft Top, being the premier sponsor for the Draft Top Progression Series. Race fans, you don't have your Draft Top bar tool? Well, you need to get one. You need to head over to DraftTop.com and get that bar tool. It's the 2020 bar tool you must have for every man cave and camping excursion. Drink topless, but drink responsible.
speaking of Bromley, the leaders just went by to put him yet another lap down, and he'll be the 7th car in line with that main pack. He's about 6 or 8 car lengths behind Cody a little bit there, but he may be able to hang on to the coattails of that lead group.
Might be able to get that Ford wound up. I don't know if it has enough horsepower to really dance up here with these Fords and those Chevrolets and that Supra there. The Ford just hanging on there. We'll see if he can keep toe with these guys, and I think he might just be the driver that just kind of rides the coattails, like you said. So we'll see. You know,
Danny getting a little crazy there coming into turn 3. A couple of lane changes there. I thought he might brush the back of that 65 car and send him around.
well, he's all jacked up on sour gummy worms right now.
Yep, it's got to be the gummy worms. That or a ball joint's about to come out of the right front of that car.
Well, Danny races for over-the-wall race team, so maybe he's trying to jump over turn 1's wall. I don't know exactly the plan or the strategy right now. You know, his brother, Timmy Valenzuela, is usually the mastermind, we'll call it the car chief or whatnot, for that.
So that's
whole
why they're
crew.
so slow.
Well, I don't know. He's from California. Take that how it is. Danny's from Utah. I can't say anything more than that. I don't know the behind the scenes. Those guys for the over the wall racing team, they like to really play hush hush.
Looking at the 2 different groups here, the lead group for the most part single file, but that second pack is too wide for a couple different guys, and I'm watching it. The distance between them has grown now to over 11.5 seconds between the leaders and the 3rd place car.
Yeah, that's Cole Day sitting there in 3rd now. Mauer's also right there. I was just about to talk about the Sim Box team and where they're at running onto the speedway right now. Mauer is running there into that 4th position. The driver out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the Snuff Racing Sim Box machine. He's having himself a good night, and the reason I say 4th is a good night for Nathan Mauer, well, 1, he's up 15 positions in that 71 Sim Box machine, and also he just got in yesterday. Greg, you're going to be in the same situation. He just got in a brand new steering wheel and base setup and rim setup. So he went from a Logitech wheel to a Fanatec wheel, and as any sim racer knows, that is a huge difference. That's like driving a Pinto to going to drive a Ferrari. So there's a big difference there, and especially super speedway racing, close quarters racing. They see Mauer a little off the pace here, only in a 4-car group. But could you imagine racing with 35 cars strong side by side?
Oh, man, I can't wait. You know, you talk about getting a new wheel in. I just found out today mine is on the way, and with any luck, next week I'll be out on track with these guys, going wheel to wheel, and we'll see how that turns out for us next week.
How many walls do you think you can knock down at Bristol? Because that's where we're headed next with these Xfinity cars, to the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Oh, I can clean it out. Don't worry. I'll be sure to cause Bruton Smith a little bit of a penny to rebuild it.
So all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, maybe you can repaint them after you're done. Right now, though, Reynolds, Fernandez, Day, Mauer, and Sturgill are your top 5 drivers. There you see Michael Sturgill out of Ohio. He is just hanging on to the back of this group here with 18 laps to go. That's your top 5 drivers in the old shed, 185. Sitting back there in 6th, though, it's Jose Mejia. He has found a home with Darrell Clauter and the number 3 of Shane Mullins. They all run nose to tail. Aaron Davidson is back just a little bit. There he is. He is running into the 7th position currently onto the speedway. And a good rebound tonight it could be if he's able to finish inside the top 10. Because remember last week at Gateway when he was in the race lead and the laps were starting to close down and Cold Day was pouncing onto the back bumper of that truck? Well, he ended up spinning that 03 old wooden sides out and unfortunately didn't get the finish that he deserved last week at Worldwide Technology or Gateway or whatever you call that track anymore. But Doug Neal is sitting right there. He's having himself a good run in that Sim Box machine. He is currently into the 8th position. Tim Combs, after a very disappointing night last night at the Pocono International Raceway, he has rebounded to running 9th right now with Brandon Feeney after he just yeeted the grass down last time he tried to come out of pit road. You see the splitter all tore up on that Camaro, but he is currently sitting in 10th, and that rounds out our top 10 drivers currently, with just 17 laps to go.
A little bit of pit strategy information. This second pack, so to speak, the 99 of Cold Day, 31 Donald Bennett, 71 of Maurer, and the 90 of Sturgill, they're going to be planning to come in on lap 58, coming to 59 for their stop. Unfortunately, without a yellow, I think this is really going to come down to those top two cars. Something crazy could happen with them getting on the pit road, but I think without a yellow, it's going to be them. The second group is losing about a second to a second and a half per lap over the last 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, it's a 19.5-second gap from...
almost 2 seconds that lap.
Oh, that is not what you want to see as the laps start to wind down here tonight at Talladega. The field is completely spread out. It's only a couple groups of cars. We'll pop the map back up, find where your favorite driver is running. There's their card numbers. Find it. There's the 28 of Hunter Reynolds. So it's exactly 3 packs, and they are all almost evenly spread out all around this Talladega Superspeedway. So Cold Day possibly thinking, nope, not this time. I was going to say with 15 to go, he's going to come to pit road, but he actually stays out. Jose Mejia, there's some battling side by side. Jose Mejia goes around the 83 of Brandon Feeney. Combs is right there also in this mix now. So this is the battle for the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th position onto the speedway. Combs now running in the 10th position with Feeney in 9th. Neal is 8th. Mejia is in 7th as he has the car to the outside here. It's a rookie this season for all these drivers, and it is the first season. That's why it says it is the Salt Flat Draft Top Progression Series inaugural season here. So everybody is considered a rookie. So how does that work, Greg? Who wins the Rookie of the Year this year?
Logic would say the guy that wins the championship would get it. If you ask me, but
can you have a Rookie of the Year when everybody's a rookie?
Sure, why not?
Hey, I'm going to send it just as much as Feeney's going to send it. And now a couple drivers right here on screen going to come to pit road. It's Shane Mullins. He's coming to pit road with Aaron Davidson. I believe that is the 77 of Neal. He'll come to pit road. And also Tim Combs just hanging off the tail of this group with Colonel Sanders. He will come to pit road also. So Colonel Sanders on board with us here tonight on that 88 Chevrolet.
Here in the group of Cold Day, that second pack, they're going to be coming this time. Cole just radioed in. He does not have enough fuel for another lap. They're coming right here, coming out of turn 4.
So let's see how these drivers all execute coming onto pit lane. There you see, I believe that's Maurer way down to the inside there. So he's going to hit the brake bias on that Simbox button box, and everybody gets it woed down. Those 4 drivers are clean and A-OK coming down pit lane here. Maurer will find his spot.
Sounds like all of the lap cars out of that lead group are all coming this time. And the leaders are coming too, that whole group of 6.
Yeah, look at these drivers all fan out. Levitt, Cole Haas, Massey, Valenzuela, Reynolds, and Fernandez go way low down to the inside to see if they can keep away from anybody if they were spinning coming onto pit road.
Saw Bromley there stay out. He was actually the first one to call out that he was going to come in. That was some of that veteran knowledge and decision-making there of, hey, there's going to be a lot of cars coming at one time. I don't want to go down here and get wadded up. I'm going to take it one more lap.
So now this would be the battle for, I believe, they are shown as 3rd and 4th on the timing and scoring right now. And they have yet to make their final pit stop. And here they come, it looks, with Brandon Feeney, Darrell Clauter, and Jose Mejia. Feeney way slow on the binders coming down to pit road. He's going to be way slow coming in. He's going to lose a ton of time with that liquid molly machine. You really want to drive her off there. You know you don't want to make the pits or the mistake here and slide into pit road sideways or get a penalty, but you got to attack at this point. You almost really got to risk it.
Yeah, this late in the race, it's kind of half of one. Whatever that saying is, I just fell all over my words there again. But risk it. You don't really have a whole lot to lose, It kind of seems like, for the most part, everybody's where they're going to finish at without something catastrophic happening. But at the same time, you don't want to cause that catastrophic event either and throw the kink in the race for everybody else.
Well, it looks like it is still the same song and dance at the front as they are going to see 11 laps to go. It'll be Reynolds and Fernandez after this pit cycle is done. They still run nose to tail. There you see the 38.11. He is right now into the 10th position. He is the final car on the, first car, 1 lap down. Tim Combs is the final car on the lead lap. There is the old shed of Brandon Massey. He is running in the 11th spot, 1 lap down to your race leaders. He's trying to go to the outside 11. Maybe he can get it back the old-fashioned way. Then it's this battle. The 31 of Bennett is not involved in the battle as he is 14th on the timing and scoring. But Cole Day, Nathan Maurer, and Michael Sturgill, they are all battling 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the speedway after the green flag pit cycle. Jose Mejia has fallen off a little bit after his stop. He is running 6th. Brandon Feeney is 7th, and he's got Aaron Davidson behind him with Tim Combs. They are all right ahead of your race leaders, actually. Tim Combs will be looking in his mirror, and he will see a mirror full of that Ford that is leading the field.
You know, it's been a really clean race. Haven't had any cautions. For the most part, no accidents. A couple little fender benders on pit road. It's really great to see that these guys are able to do this type of racing, super speedway racing, do it cleanly, without incident. But I do have to say, as a driver in these type of races, it gets a little frustrating. You know, put yourself in the position of Cody Levitt at 38. You have one little mistake with a speeding penalty on pit road, and it has essentially ruined your entire race up to this point. You know, what's he running in? 10th. So he's the top car lap down, running in 10th. But he's kind of stuck right there without a caution to come out. That's pretty much where he's going to end up at.
I mean, there's a couple guys right there that he'll battle with. Brandon Feeney, Aaron Davidson, Combs, and Massey. But, yeah, I mean, you don't have a chance at the win at this point. Looks like Darrell Clauder knows that, and he's actually going to dive down onto the bottom of the apron. He wants nothing to do with this, I don't believe. Him and that beautiful-looking 26 machine. He tells me he's a professional painter and all the time that I really need to take a peek at his cars, but, yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, I'm going to have to start dropping out a couple lines here to different people and see who I can't get to draw me up a couple cars. I'm going to need some fresh skins here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I can tell you where to go.
Caution! No caution.
No caution.
83 just got turned right in front of the leaders there, down to the inside wall. I can't believe there's no caution there.
Brandon Feeney down on the apron with that liquid Molly 83, the driver out of Ontario, Canada. We'll watch it back here. It looks like he had just left pit road. Entered pit road, left pit road, it tells me. Well, let's go back and watch this. What happens? Oh, he goes down on the apron, and the 03 gets right into the rear. There you see the roof flaps deploy, and Feeney going to hit the inside wall, spin it around, and he'll keep going, but unfortunately, it's not going to be very good for him. Let's go back and see if we can go on board here with Aaron Davidson. Yeah, there you saw it, just a little bit of a bump, and that's all it took for that machine to go around. Your race leaders look like they had enough of that. They realize they have a 32-second gap, and they are dropping to the back of this field here now.
So we talked earlier, what it's like, the mindset from the leader, the 28 car, with being in front of a lap car, behind a lap car, saving fuel, all that kind of good stuff. Let's kind of flip the script. Think about, Fernandez. He's been riding behind Hunter for, the last 25, 30 laps or so in second place. At this point, he more or less knows, hey, it's between the two of us if this thing stays green. What's going through his mind as far as trying to set up how to set up the 28 car for the last lap to try to give himself a shot at the win?
Well, think about it. If you're looking at it point standings-wise, right now, Fernandez is sitting there in that second position. Hunter Reynolds was 5th coming into the night. The gap between them, 34 points. Because, well, I can tell you what my mindset is right now, and if I'm the 6, I'm going to sit back here. I'm going to make it a little bit of a nice cushion, and I'm going to get that huge run, and I'm going to hope to time it right. that I can just go right up and around Hunter Reynolds, or maybe I can get Hunter Reynolds to think I'm going high, and then him go high, and I duck underneath him, and then scoot on by him for the race win. We're going to see, because remember, the start-finish line isn't here in the tri-oval. It's down towards turn number 1. Right here it is. So there's a lot of room out of turn number 4 to be able to, kind of pick your way around somebody. And especially with all those cars out in front of these two drivers, they are making a big wake out in front of them that they can get a huge draft here.
And so that's actually going to play into the hands of Hunter Reynolds, though, because while Fernandez can try to lay back a little bit and get a run on the 28, Hunter's going to be getting that same run off all the cars ahead of him. But the problem for the 6 cars, he has nobody behind him. So if he gets too big of a gap, he's going to risk losing the draft and essentially gift wrap it and hand the win over to Hunter.
Well, guess what? Now there's somebody behind the 6. There's the 3. That is Mullins. He's down a couple laps, but he has a very clean Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet, so he would be able to help the good wrench number 3. And look, exactly, Fernandez lays off the back here of Hunter Reynolds. He's going to get that 3 machine. He's going to let him hit. Oh, boy, he's going to let him sit there. And
Mullins wants none of it.
It all sounded great in theory as I was thinking about it, and then nope.
So I don't believe the drivers are communicating. Those two are communicating with each other, but you could see Mullins isn't thinking about, hey, how can I help this guy win the race? He's thinking, hey, how can I pass some of these cars? And if nothing else, have some fun in passing a couple cars. It's not been his night. He's been lapped a couple times now. So he's just looking to have a little bit of fun racing with another group of cars.
And look what Hunter Reynolds did there. He actually pulled that 3 back up. He went outside his line, pulled the 3 back up into this group, and then let the 3 go right on by him. So Mullins is no longer behind Roy Fernandez, as we're going to get 3 laps to go here at Talladega. I think the tricks are just starting to come out here.
Yeah, typically I would want to have that lap car between me and the second place guy, but again, you don't want to give Fernandez any more ammunition than what he's already got in the way of assistance to beat you. So that was a smart move by Hunter. Now he's just kind of sitting in the perfect spot. He's got a gap with guys ahead of him, so he's got some room to pull up on, and Fernandez is at the risk of losing the draft. So this will be an interesting last 2 laps.
Yeah, I was going to say the popsicle sticks are going to go in the air. Just over 5 miles of racing here tonight in the Old Shed 185. Let's see who's going to be able to win it. Is it going to be Hunter Reynolds? Or will it be Roy Fernandez? You don't know. And it seems like it's a cat and mouse game here, Greg, because Fernandez lays back and then Reynolds lays back. So we're going to find out. Under 5 miles now.
Yeah, it's almost a game of who can give up the most without giving up everything here. It's kind of what it's looking like. Fernandez has got a little bit of a run here coming down the backstretch into turn 3. He's going to close it up to about a 2 to 3 car length lead, or excuse me, distance. But those lap cars ahead of him, they're starting to get a little racy.
Yeah, and all that's going to do is punch a bigger hole in the air for these drivers. Look at Fernandez. He ducks to the outside here. He's going to have a run coming possibly by the time they come out of turn number 2 on that 28. White flag, 1 lap to go here, presented by Butt Kicker.
Fernandez takes the high arc into turn 1. Didn't want to have to crack the throttle, so he takes a little bit wider angle into the corner and gives himself just a little bit more cushion there. And he's going to try to pull up on the 28 Hunter Reynolds here coming out of turn 2 and looking to the outside. Here he comes.
Not going to have quite the run. Reynolds not going to bite. It's still a 2-car length distance between the first and second place driver. It'll be into turn number 3 for the final time. Still a lot of racing left here. The start-finish line way down close to turn number 1. This time, out of turn number 4, they will look into the tri-oval. They won't see the checkered flag. They have to come through the tri-oval. But now, coming through the tri-oval, it looks like it will be the driver of the 28, Hunter Reynolds, will win the Old Shed 185. Roy Fernandez Lopez will finish second, but where's the battle? It's for third here. Look at them. They're side by side down the back straightaway. They still have a half a lap of racing to go. Nathan Maurer is pushing the back bumper here on the 90 of Sturgill. Up the track goes Maurer a little bit. Bennett is trying to lay into the Rockstar. They will come out of turn number 4 for the final time here tonight, and they will drag race down the front straightaway. It looks like that inside lane getting a little bit better push here. Bennett seesawing. Contact between Maurer and Cole Day. That's going to separate it. Sturgill's going to come home third. Then it's going to be Maurer. Day. He finishes. Well, they finish third, fourth, and fifth. Where's Cody Levitt? Because this is the battle for the 6th and 7th spot. Day down to the ends, or Levitt to the inside. Here comes Massey. The old Shed's going to bring home 6th.
That was like 3 separate races all in one there. That was awesome.
So there it was Massey, Davidson, Levitt, Combs coming across the line. Jose Mejia, Ira Kohlhaas, Doug Neal, Brandon Feeney, Donald Bennett, and Darrell Clauter rounding out the top 15. But it's all that man right there. He got to watch that show too come across the line. Hunter Reynolds is our race winner here as the Rays Energy Drink checkered flag is officially in the air here. And Hunter Reynolds is the race winner. There you see those two drivers. They were opposite coming across the line. It was the 28 ahead of the 6, but it looks like they're going to play around here just a little bit. There goes the 6 down to the grass. They played nice all night long.
Yeah, those guys, they may not have been teammates officially, but they sure acted like it tonight. And the race kind of fell into their hands that way through the pit stops and the different packs, how they were working together. But he, one thing you didn't see from Fernandez, he never tried to use a lap car as a pick or try to get something to work around. He stayed dedicated to the back of that 28 car and said, hey, look, this is a survival thing. We need to get to the end, and then we'll try to hash it out at the end, and that's what we saw.
So Hunter Reynolds is going to win the Old Shed 185 here tonight at Talladega. Race fans, your post-race show will be coming here in just a moment, presented by DraftTop.com, but Reynolds is going to try and burn him down. I know he's finished second a lot, but I figure somebody knows how to do some burnouts. And yeah, now he's going to let the old Ford eat down here on the inside. So as he burns them down, we're going to step away. We'll be back here with your post-race show presented by DraftTop.com. Welcome back here, race fans, to the Talladega Super Speedway here tonight for the Old Shed 185, and the checkered flag has flown. We officially have a winner tonight, and, well, I guess I can no longer call him the bridesmaid. Hunter, you found your way to victory lane here for the first time this season in the Draft Top Progression Series. How did you do it here tonight?
Yes, sir. This feels great. This is my first Salt Flats win, like you said. Oh, it feels amazing. Shout out me and Roy running together. We hit our stops absolutely perfect, had good strategy there, and managed a huge gap at the end. So all in all, great race.
Yeah, you two were able to come across the line. I'm not sure. I believe it was almost a whole track ahead of those other guys. How were you able to work together so good here at Talladega tonight and maintain that gap? You had Hornets all around you all night long.
Man, some of those times were scary racing around those other people, especially, the beginning and then the lap cars at the end. But we just had to hit our pit stops absolutely perfect, which we did. Got hooked up, and then we just kept pushing the whole way to keep building that gap.
Yeah, and you built it up, and then you guys kind of rode. How much communication was being translated between you and Fernandez all night long? Did you guys talk about this before the race, or was this all kind of green flag pit stops happened and you found yourself next to each other?
No, actually, before the race, Roy hopped in. We were like, hey, started talking, and I was like, you want to run tonight? He was like, heck yeah, dude. And we were just talking about strategy as it came along. We had to check how much fuel we had and everything else, and then, you know, we hit our pit stops perfectly. We were right there next to each other all night, and me and Roy got a good thing here.
So a good finish here tonight at Talladega. It came down to just you and him, and you were able to outlast him out of turn number 4 and through that long tri-oval. You know, I do see you out here running other races on the Turn 3 Racing Network, so I know you're used to running super speedways. I know you can run them. You're very well. You proved that once again here tonight. But looking at this schedule, we're going to head to Bristol for the night race. How confident are you that you can go back-to-back?
You know, honestly, I couldn't tell you. It was hard enough to get this first win, so we'll see when the second one comes. But I did pretty decent. You know, I'd like to say everything, but, you know, super speedways are definitely my thing, and it showed here tonight.
Well, you're able to win, so who do you got to thank?
Yep.
I'm going to roll this red carpet out and hand you the mic. Who do you got to thank for this one?
Yes, sir. Gotta thank FSR, my teammates. Special shout out to Roy for running with me there, helping me out. That was really cool. All you guys at Turn 3 in the booth do a great job. All the Salt Flat admins, Draft Top, everyone that helps out, and of course everyone watching. We appreciate everyone.
Well, there you heard it from your winner tonight. He drives the number 28. It is Hunter Reynolds being parked in victory lane here tonight for the Old Shed 185. Congratulations to that whole crew. Greg, I believe, though, you're standing by with the other side of that duo.
Yeah, I got Roy Fernandez down here, finished second tonight, had a great run. Roy, congratulations on that finish there. We know one spot more is what you were after. But before we get to the finish there, this was a caution-free race. How do you feel about, you know, how the race played out? Did you want to see a caution somewhere to try to re-rack it and see what else you could get, or were you happy to see it go green where you and Hunter could just stick together and set sail?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Greg. You know, honestly, green flag racing is what it's all about, in my opinion. So I was happy with that green flag. I had no issues with that. A caution would have just bred more cautions, and who knows, maybe I would have gotten the wrong bump, and then I would have been sideways and just spread the vehicle. So I'm glad it went green, and I'm glad we finished in the top 2 race tonight.
Yeah, catching the wrong bump is always a risk that you have to be willing to accept at tracks like Daytona, Talladega. With that long green run comes green flag pit stops. We saw a couple guys have a couple issues getting down on the pit road. What was that like? How hard was that for you guys to be able to break it down? You didn't ever give up any time to Hunter coming into pit road there. What was, you know, how difficult is that just to come down from almost 200 miles an hour down to 55 without losing any time?
Yeah, it's certainly not easy, man. And to be able to execute it 3 times flawlessly is, I have no idea how we did it, to be honest with you. But we definitely practiced quite a bit beforehand, and we kind of just talked with each other, like I said, try to kind of team up and, you know, help each other out. You know, you can't win Talladega by yourself, or you can't be in the top 5 by yourself. So you need someone pushing, you need someone that's going to be able to keep it going, and we practiced these pit stops quite a bit, and we kind of, you know, gauged ourselves as a, hey, when our tires are this much worn, what, you know, on the track to kind of break a little bit earlier as a vintage point. So that's kind of what we used, a point, pick it on the track, and then break at that point in time.
Yeah, you speak of that teamwork. It definitely had the team mentality going there really strong between the two of you. But the last 2 or 3 laps of the race, we saw you both kind of floated to the back of that pack behind those lap down cars. They were getting a little dicey there. We saw you kind of separate yourself a little bit, kind of give yourself 2, 3, 4 car lengths. Were you trying to figure out, hey, how can I get my run? What can I do here to try to get around the 28 car for the win?
Yeah, so I actually had a little bit of less fuel than I was anticipating on that last pit stop. So I was kind of trying to save a little bit, not push as much. When I first came out, I was pushing quite hard, so I was like, well, maybe I should let off a little bit and give a little bit of room. And also, in case if anything happened, anything got dicey, I had enough room for me to brake and avoid any wrecks in front of me. So that was my game plan right there.
Well, that worked out pretty good. You know, again, 1 spot short, but a really great run. Your car, for the most part, is in very good condition. I think just a little bit of congratulatory bumps there between the two of you with a little bit of damage on the back end. So congratulations again on the second place finish. We'll give you the mic. Who do you have to thank for your run tonight?
I always got to thank my fiance, Marissa, soon to be Fernandez. And, Turn 3 Network, you guys are great. Your broadcasts are amazing. Bennett, Bromley, Herman putting on a great show for us, getting this league situated and everything. So, thanks to you guys and then the fans watching. It's what we love doing here because of you guys.
Well, you sure put on a good show, and we certainly enjoyed to see it. And Roger, I believe you've caught up with Michael Sturgill.
Yeah, I've caught up with the driver of the number 90 here. He's going to come home third tonight. Sturgill, it's a great run. You had to really work for this third place finish, though. But it's been a while since we've seen you. Where have you been? Let's start it off with this. A limited schedule for you.
Yeah, the last race I ran here in this league didn't go so well for me. So I took a little bit of a break.
Yeah, a little bit of a break, but you come back fully energized here to battle at Talladega. And you were 3 wide on that final lap, I believe, with Cole Day and Nathan Maurer, and Brandon Feeney was right there also with Bennett. How hard did you drive on those closing laps to come home third?
Pretty hard. Once I got out front and got down low, I was just hoping for someone to get behind me and stay with me. And big shout out to Nathan. He did just that for me.
So you were able to team up together. Now, I don't know much, Sturgill, if you're a big super speedway guy, were you looking forward? Is this one of those tracks that you circled as a possible return back to the series to try and dominate here, or was it just chance tonight that you saw it was open?
I don't know. If I see a plate race, I'm there. I love super speedways. They're probably one of my favorite.
Well, you love them and you have a good finish, but what more could you have done to go up there and compete with the likes of Hunter Reynolds and Roy Fernandez? It seemed like they just kind of had a stranglehold at the front of this field here tonight.
Yeah, early on, I kind of dropped to the back. Did not expect it to go green the whole way. There was a few close calls I saw in the beginning, so I dropped all the way to the back of the pack and was waiting for a wreck to happen, and it never did. And then once I got behind, I think they got out. They had a 5, 6, 7 car pack up front between them and some lap cars, and our little 4-car pack just couldn't do anything to catch them. So wishing I would have stayed up front.
Yeah, but that's plate racing. You never know what you're gonna get at all. But what do you think we're gonna get next week at Bristol? Do you plan on running the Bristol race with the Xfinity cars next week?
Yeah, I like Bristol. I'll probably be there for that. Hopefully we get some long green flag runs in. That'd be cool. I mean, if we can go green the whole way, that works too.
Well, that's just next week at Bristol. But, Mike, who do you got to thank for your podium finish here tonight at Talladega?
Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it, everyone at Turn 3. Thanks to Bromley and everyone else that helps put the league on and runs it. And I think that's about it.
Well, there you heard it from the third place finisher tonight. He's going to come home third in the number 90 machine. Michael Sturgill out of Ohio has himself a podium finish. But man, oh man, what a race we saw here tonight. Greg Reynolds and Fernandez working together like teammates, crossing the alliance line, a Ford and a Chevrolet coming home 1 and 2, drafting all night long. Do you think we're going to see that next week, though, when we head to the concrete jungle down there in Bristol?
Not a chance. I think next week's going to be a every man for himself. It's definitely going to be some bent up fenders and bumpers and sheet metal, but I can almost assure you there will be some bent up feelings as well by the time the checker flag falls.
That's coming next week. Let's take a quick look here, though, tonight. Let's take a look at those results. Let you find where your favorite driver came home. This is your drafttop.com. Finishing results here tonight. That is not the finishing results. One time I will hit this right button. I swear for you race fans, I won't show the qualifying order at the end of a race sooner or later. This is your results here tonight for the Old Shed 185. Reynolds comes home P number 1. Fernandez was second. Sturgill in third with Nathan Maurer there in fourth with a close call, trying to edge out Sturgill at the end. Cole Day was also right there. Brandon Massey came home sixth in the Old Shed machine. 7th is Aaron Davidson. Cody Levitt was 8th. 9th, Tim Combs. Jose Mejia rounds out your top 10. Ira Kohlhaas was 11th, with Doug Neal in the Simbox group running in 12th. Brandon Feeney was 13th. Donald Bennett was 14th. Daryl Clauder 15th. Danny Valenzuela was 16th. 17th goes to Shane Mullins tonight. Michael Bromley had some connection issues with himself. He will finish into the 18th position here tonight. Coming home in 19th then is going to be Josh Buckley. He had some issues coming out of pit road. Brandon Crossland had connection issues. And look at the man that finishes 21st tonight. Greg O'Berry put himself into a great position to come home way back there into the 21st position. So that's your 20-car finishing order here tonight, brought to us by Draft Top. And that's your drafttop.com post-race show. Greg, thanks for joining us once again up here in the booth. It's always a pleasure, especially right here at Talladega for such a great race. Closing thoughts here from Talladega before we head to Bristol?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully next week at Bristol, if everything works out right, I'll be able to get down on the track and rub some fenders with these guys. But either way, look forward to a good race next week. These guys race hard. For the most part, everybody races really clean. They're definitely going to put on a good show next week.
Well, we got to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network to watch the Draft Top Progression Series here tonight. The Salt Flat Racing League, and of course, all the people over at the Old Shed. Race fans, make sure you go over to Facebook.com, type in the Old Shed, become a part of their page, and get to see all the action that happens 7 p.m. Friday night. Live auctions on the Old Shed. We'll see you there because I'll be tuning in. But until we see you next time, which could be just tomorrow night when the IROCs are back in action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, everybody stay safe till we see you out there again.